Welcome, dear viewers. Our channel shines a light on international and Arab affairs through systematic analysis and an objective lens, steering clear of propaganda or sensationalism. Today, we delve into a critical question. What is the role of the newly announced Peace Council in ending the conflict in Gaza and overseeing its reconstruction? Let's set the stage. We live in a world where wars are multiplying, the legitimacy of international law is receding, and diplomatic efforts seem to falter one after another. Into this turbulent scene steps a new political announcement bearing a reassuring name, the Peace Council. It suggests calm and an end to the bloodshed. But behind this name lies an initiative launched by former U.S. President Donald Trump from the platform of the World Economic Forum in Davos. From the very first moment, urgent questions demand answers. Are we witnessing a genuine, serious attempt to end conflicts and rebuild what wars have destroyed? Or is this a political project designed to redefine the very concept of peace outside the established framework of the United Nations? And crucially, what concrete role can this council possibly play in the monumental task of reconstructing the Gaza Strip? This is what we will deconstruct, step by step. The announcement of the Peace Council comes in the context of a deeply troubled international order. This is not an era of stability, but one that reflects a comprehensive global crisis of trust. The war in Gaza is no longer just a regional conflict. It has morphed into an ethical and legal test for the entire international system. Simultaneously, the war in Ukraine continues to drain Europe, reviving a logic of sharp polarization between East and West. Tensions are rising in the South China Sea, forgotten conflicts persist in Africa, and intertwined political and economic crises unfold across Asia and Latin America. Against this backdrop, the United Nations appears paralyzed, unable to enforce its own resolutions. The Security Council is often crippled by the veto power, and international institutions are widely accused of being slow and ineffective. It is precisely in this climate that the idea of a peace council has sprouted, presented as an attempt to find alternatives outside traditional frameworks that, in the eyes of many, have lost their ability to manage contemporary conflicts. On January 22nd, from the Davos stage, Donald Trump officially announced the establishment of this new international entity. He presented himself not just as a former head of state, but as a global actor seeking to make peace. The choice of Davos was no accident. This forum is not merely a space for discussion. It is a meeting ground for global political and economic elites, where ideas are tested before becoming policy. The message was clear. In Trump's vision, peace is no longer a purely diplomatic matter, but a file for global management, financing, and swift decision-making. In the presence of several leaders and representatives from member states, the signing ceremony was held. Trump stated, "Once this council is fully formed, we will be able to do almost anything we want, and we will do so in coordination with the United Nations." He added that the UN has great untapped potential. In the same speech, he declared that the Council is committed to ensuring the disarmament of Gaza and rebuilding it beautifully, noting this would be done in coordination with the UN, despite his implicit criticism of what he sees as bureaucratic incapacity within the international organization. So, the stated goal is to achieve peace, end conflicts, and oversee reconstruction, particularly in Gaza. But what exactly is the Peace Council? According to its draft charter, the Council is defined as an international organization seeking to promote stability, restore good and legal governance, and ensure the achievement of lasting peace in areas affected or threatened by conflict. It becomes an official entity once 3 member states ratify its charter. Trump and about 19 other countries have signed this charter, in an attempt to give the initiative an international character, linking peace with economic development. The founding document outlines its aim to serve as a bridge between the ceasefire reached in October 2025 and the stage of lasting peace and reconstruction. Its primary mission is to oversee a comprehensive plan to rebuild the Gaza Strip, as part of what's known as the American Peace Plan proposed by Trump. Trump's Davos speech was filled with ambition and confidence, but it also contained highly controversial points. He described the council as potentially becoming one of the most important bodies in history regarding Gaza. He explicitly linked reconstruction to the disarmament of Hamas, considering this condition fundamental to any process of building and stability. This specific condition remains the central point of contention as it transforms reconstruction from a humanitarian imperative into a political and security tool. A closer look at the Council's structure reveals fundamental paradoxes. The first paradox concerns the nature of its leadership. Trump declared himself president of the Council without a clear term limit, raising questions about how an international peace council can be built on a unilateral presidency. The second paradox is related to membership and influence. It appears that weight within the Council is tied to financial contribution, which risks turning peace from a legal and ethical value into a financial equation. Finally, the third paradox touches on legal reference. The Council does not explicitly base itself on UN resolutions, nor is it subject to the UN Charter, justified as a way to bypass international bureaucracy. This opens the door to major questions about its legitimacy. Shifting to international and regional stances, reactions have not been uniform. The European Union has reacted with extreme caution. France has refused to join at this stage. Germany has expressed clear reservations, while other countries have remained silent. This stance reflects not a rejection of peace itself, but a fear of setting a precedent that could weaken the UN rather than reform it. In contrast, Russia has treated the initiative with a cold pragmatism, neither explicitly rejecting it nor engaging with it, viewing the Council as a potential American tool to reassert Western influence. China's position is more complex. It is frustrated with the UN's paralysis, but wary of any framework that could turn into a purely American instrument. On the regional level, a group of Arab and Islamic nations have chosen to engage with or welcome the initiative, including Qatar, Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Turkey, Pakistan, Morocco, Kuwait, and Bahrain. For these states, the Council represents an additional platform outside the complexities of the UN, an opportunity to alleviate the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza, or a chance to enhance their own diplomatic and regional roles. For Morocco, for example, engagement can be read within the framework of multi-track diplomacy, reinforcing its image as a stabilizing actor and a force for mediation. However, behind the ambitious speeches, the initiative faces fateful challenges that could hinder its translation into tangible reality for the people of Gaza. 1. The political gap. How does the plan address the internal Palestinian division, the continuing reality of occupation, and the priorities of a population that has not been consulted? 2. The funding problem. There are no concrete, guaranteed financial commitments from major donors, threatening to paralyze the plan from the outset. 3. The legitimacy crisis. Criticisms from diplomatically and legally weighty countries, like France, cast permanent doubt on the Council's legitimacy. 4. The political precondition. Linking reconstruction to disarming a resistance faction, namely Hamas, makes implementation hostage to a comprehensive political settlement, which may be elusive. In conclusion, the Peace Council is not merely a passing initiative. It is a sign of a deeper transformation in the meaning of peace, its tools, and the parties that claim to own and manage it. The Council may succeed in enforcing a ceasefire or launching urgent reconstruction projects, but it will collide with clear limits when it comes to deep-rooted conflicts. A peace without justice, without addressing structural causes, remains a fragile peace. In all cases, the Peace Council represents a new attempt to impose an external vision for resolving the Gaza crisis. In its hands are promises of reconstruction and stability. Before it stand enormous political, financial, and legitimacy obstacles. The most important question remains, will this council be a real bridge towards a rebuilt and secure Gaza, or just another headline in a long series of initiatives that remain confined to papers and speeches? Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for our next episode and a new issue. Share your opinions and interactions with us in the comments below.